What's up? What's up?
Hey, what's up? I'm Emily.
Emily, what happened to you? Did you get eaten by a white guy?
I transitioned. It's oh, what's up?
No, that wasn't the joke.
I transitioned and it went really well. Look at me.
Okay, well done. Wow. New pronouns and everything. Well, Emily, it's always great. Guys, this is Hot Bobby Canode. If you guys don't know Bobby Canode, he's my one of my best friends, brother, videographer, part of the team that makes it all work. The whole nine. And we're going to be here comping deals live for y'all, helping everybody figure out how much houses are worth, how much you should pay for them in specific markets, because the market has shifted, and it's important that we absolutely are dialed in on our values. This is the reason why the astro flipping community is so successful at what we do. Is we don't mess around and lock up deals that are not deals. We don't just contract houses for fun. We contract houses for money. And we only can do that if we have good deals, right? So you want to know, how you're going to be able to establish what's a good deal versus what's a bad deal, know how much you can pay for such deal. And we do that using the appraisal rules. Emily, Bobby, would you mind putting them up on the screen for us?
Let's do it.
So guys, the new appraisal rules for 2023, you can download these. If you don't have the new 2023 appraisal rules, I would highly recommend you download them. Bobby, where can people download these?
Let me put the link in the chat.
Okay, there'll be a link in the chat. You can download these for yourselves. Yeah, Emily is doing really good, guys. She is about to have a baby, so she will not be joining us on Straight Outta Compin for the foreseeable future while she has baby and heals from the delivery and all the good stuff. And also she's gonna need a little bit of time to hang out with her new son and do all the mommy sonny bondy things, right? Because we all know that little boys love their mommies, and that happens because mommies take care of us. So yeah, he is not born yet though, but he is on the way, so that's why she's not here. Anyhow, appraisal rules new for 2023. So we are not going to use comps older than 90 days. If we are going to use comps older than 90 days, then we're going to adjust our ARV down 10 to 20% depending on what market, because the market is the real estate market in the United States is not just one big market, right? We have regional real estate markets. You have a different market in Phoenix or Arizona than you have in, actually, you got a different market in Phoenix than you have in Tucson. Really? You got a different market in LA than you have in San Francisco. You got a different market in Denver than you have in Colorado Springs. And so you really have to understand the regional differences. And another reason why the people in Astro are successful is because we look at a lot of data. Running a national franchise, I am privy to see deals happen across the nation. And because of that, I can see and tell how much buyers are paying for cosmetic or full gut remodels in practically any major market across the United States. So happy to help you guys with buy numbers on those. The other appraisal rules remain the same. So we are still trying to stay in the same subdivision. And how do we know we've left a subdivision? Well, we try not to cross any major roads. We want to comp properties that are apples to apples. So we want to make sure that we are looking at properties that are the same type. So a rancher to a rancher, a two-story to a two-story, a historic house to a historic house. You see what I'm saying? If we got houses that are different in size, we can only compare homes that are about plus or minus 250 square feet in size of each other, right? That's really important to pay attention to. Because if you got a house that is, say, 1,000 square feet, you as a subject, you can't compare it to a house that's 2,000 square feet and use the dollar per square foot to make that work. It's only if they're within 250 square feet of each other that you can actually apply the dollar per square foot method to obtain ARV. And you'll see me doing that as I'm comping houses here. Also, we want to compare homes that are of the same build generation. And typically what that means in the United States is homes that are built within 10 years of each other. Now, why I say build generation is you really want to make sure that homes are that the homes that you're comparing have the same technology. All right. So as technological advances happen in the United States in building and construction, they either basically became better or worse. And there's a small section of technology has made construction better up until the early 2000s, when like we had the construction boom and there was some, you know, like real choppy construction that happened. But for the most part, you want to compare homes that are within 10 years of each other. Now, of course, you're never going to have exact matches, right? So that's why if you've got an extra bed or an extra bath or an extra a pool or a garage, you make adjustments. So a bedroom is worth about plus or minus $10,000. So if you have an extra bedroom, it's worth around 10 grand. A bathroom could be worth plus or minus $25,000, depending on the price point of the house. 5,000 on lower value homes, and a pool is worth plus or minus $10,000, and garage is worth plus or minus 10. Actually, you know what? Emily has those switched. Can you change those, Bobby? It's supposed to be bedroom, bath is plus or minus 25, bathroom is plus or minus 10, garage is plus or minus 10K, and a carport is worth plus or minus 5K. Now, again, based on if you have traffic or commercial that you're siding, backing, or fronting, you have to make adjustments on that. And again, price point is going to determine how much of an adjustment you're going to make. If you are under 500,000 square feet, then you need to subtract $10,000 for siding or backing, traffic or commercial. If you're fronting commercial, depending on how busy that commercial or how busy that traffic is, you're going to take 10 to 20,000 off. But if you're over a $500,000 price point, it's 10 to 20%. So if you're siding traffic, you take off 10%, backing traffic 15%, fronting traffic 20%. And then lastly, guys, if you are using a home with a basement, or if you have any ancillary dwelling units like a guest house, an appraiser will typically only give you an additional 50% of the square foot value. So if you've got a 500 square foot basement or a 500 square foot guest house, the most an appraiser is going to give you in value is 250 square feet of that value. So just keep that in mind. And that's if they even give it to you. Sometimes an appraiser won't even give it to you. So with that said, Al's asking to repeat what I said about square footage. I said you can only use the dollar per square foot method if your homes are within 250 square feet of each other in size. Okay, so if you've got 1,000 square foot house, I can use the dollar per square foot method up to about 1,250 square feet, down to about 750 square feet, and that's it. So plus or minus 250 square feet of each other, I can use the dollar per square foot method to determine value. But once you're outside of that size, you can't apply dollar per square feet any longer. At least to be exact. Now, sometimes there's just not enough comps and you have to get an idea, but it's not going to be as accurate as it would be if you had an exact comp. So again, comping is an art form, and sometimes a science, but you have to. There's a lot of nuance in there. So with that said, let's look at some houses. We got about 300 of you guys live here. So thank you all for joining us. Go ahead and hit the like button for us, please. And also share this on your social media feeds so that the YouTube people know that this is valuable to you. Awesome. Bobby, we got an address?
Yeah. So first in line is well, I just want to note that Jason has put his address in the chat 20 times. We're going to get to it. He's second. Maria put it in first, 4810 Ride Point Drive, Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
And
Just give me
apparently
a
the
second
Jason one
here.
is going to be a challenge because it's a small town.
Guys, Straight Outta Compin is brought to you by Batch Leads. My favorite comping tool to use. Again, help them create their comping software. So, of course, I have bias. It's a great product, and also they are developing a new agent outreach platform within Batch Leads, which you all know I heavily teach. So if you guys haven't already checked out Batch Leads, go to batchleads.io and check them out. What's the address, Bob?
4810 Ride Point Drive, Tampa, Florida.
Right, it must be Ridge Point.
Ridge, yeah, Ridge. Yep, I typed it wrong.
All right, 4810 Ridge Point Drive in Tampa. We got is that a 1980 build, 1779 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath. Batch's value estimate on it is $500,000. Looks like they've got a mortgage on there of about $150,000. So probably not one where you could do. It's not owned outright, but maybe you could do some owner financing with another note or some kind of carry. So if you guys are trying to do creative financing, what Batch is really good about, as well as it gives you details about financing or mortgages that are attached to the house. But it's an 80 build, 2,300 square feet. Ooh, look at this. It says 2,300 square feet here, but it's 1,779 on tax record. So I'm going to go with 1,779 square feet. The building size is 2,307, so they've got the garage included in that. Got it. And then the lot is 7,700 square feet large. Let's see the comps. Looks like you got one right nearby, but this one sold in, what is that, June or August? It's like I got glasses, but they don't even work. What does that say, Bobby? Can you tell?
So let's see.
June.
608, yeah, 608. Oh, 608, 22.
Yeah, so I would make an adjustment on this. This is 79 build, so very similar property, but it is smaller than ours. Okay, sorry, it's larger by 200 square feet. So first and foremost, what I would do is I would adjust down for the market condition. And in Tampa, Florida, I would say we'd adjust down about 10%. So I'm going to take off about 41,000 from that sale price. So 419 minus 41 gives me about 380. So 380,000 now, and I'm going to divide that by the square footage of 1938. Gives me about 196 a foot. Multiplying that by 1779 gives us about a 350 ARV. All right, about a 350 ARV adjusted to today's numbers. Now, Batch thinks it's worth 500, which is interesting. So I'm going to see if there's any other higher comps here that I'm missing. Let's see. And of course, there was no photos there to be able to tell what condition that house was in. So that's not super helpful. We have a sale here of a 2,200 square footer, though. It sold at 525, so that was bid up over list price. So I don't count that. I would say that's emotional equity. We have a $500,000 sale price, but again, 2,200 square feet, too large to use the dollar per square foot method because we are over 250 square feet. So I'm not super. Gut wise, this tells me maybe we're at about 4.25, but I'm gonna keep looking. Pendings are super helpful right now, and we have a pending Ooh, but this is 2,500 square feet, so it's much larger at 635, and that's a full remodel. But that's good. That tells us that we might actually be up in this higher price point. So let's see if I can find anything else.
On the map, where is our original house that we're trying to comp?
It's right over here.
Okay, got you.
So I don't really want to cross Canyon Road, whatever that road is here. Can't see Casey Road. I don't want to cross that. That's a main one.
And then that highway is a main one too, yeah?
Yep.
So that little triangle.
And we've got an active remodel at 2,500 square feet at 585. So I think 450 is actually probably the right number on this one. Looking at that sale, looking at the pending, and eyeballing it from that, I feel 450 feels better. Let's just see if we can see photos on this, and then I'm just going to double check it on Zillow just to see if there's any other numbers there that we can find on Zillow. Always good, guys, to fact check, because you don't want your ARVs to be fake news. You know what I'm saying? Because that makes you just look dumb to your buyers. Give me that address.
4810 Ridge Point Drive, Tampa, Florida. Krista says you took 10% off due to the market shift. How do you
Correct.
know how much to adjust for each different market?
As I said, I have franchises in almost every major market in the United States, and because of that, we're able to see where sales volume is and how ARVs have adjusted. And so I just know, because I am in the Florida market, that sale prices have adjusted down 10%. So that's why I know. As one of the benefits of having proximity in the Astro community is you get access to all that information. I mean, it's truly one of the cheat codes that we have. Helps us all do a lot better. Tell you that.
We've been taking 10 to 15% off in our market, but we're wondering if we're working ourselves out of deals by being too conservative, she says.
Yeah, it might be. And what market is that? Tell me what market you're in.
No, guys, Em's not in labor. She's just not working. We're giving her some, freedom as she's about to explode, She has long days now.
Yep. So if you take off 10% off this, that would be 52K off of that, and then adjust it down. Yeah, 450 is the right number. We still even fact checking over here, we're at 450. So that's where we're at. 450. And here's a 435 sale from January of 2023, and it doesn't appear. We can't see the photos of it, but it also does kind of go in line with our numbers. So that's where we're gonna stay. 450.
Cool. Ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
It's from Jason, and from the chat, I'm guessing it's going to be a challenge, but we'll see what we can do. 616 Old Laredo Road. I'll actually put it on the screen. Let's see.
Old what?
Old Laredo, Laredo Road.
And where?
In Chaparral, New Mexico. Chaparr.
Chaparral.
Chaparral.
Chaparral, New Mexico.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Sean, I'll get you on the list, dude.
No, not a lot. Nothing here actually. Batch isn't showing us jack in Chaparral, New Mexico. So we'll take this address over to Zillow and see if there's anything there.
Yeah, what do you do in a situation like this where there's literally no comps? If there isn't.
Well, yeah, I stay away from markets like this, honestly, because it's if there's no comps, there's hard to justify to buyers. There's not a lot of buyer activity out there. So for me, I just stay away. I'm gonna look now at actives because that's really the only thing we've got to go off of. And so you've got some, this is a lot at 60,000. You got a house, an active house here, 4,000 square foot, active at 214,000. Just vacant land, nothing. There's no activity. This is like this part of the country is like Night of the Walking Dead,
So the one we're doing this for is Jason. First of all, he says, "You look like you've been working out, bro. Those specs raise your IQ at least a buck."
There you go.
The deal with this property is that not much going on in that area. Also, owner has much pain and wants to get out from under it before she loses it. Needs a roof, and it's a gut job.
Okay.
What would you do
Well,
in your shoes?
You got an active at 245. The active has been sitting on the market for almost a year. So that tells you that nobody wants to buy it at that price. The size of this one is 2,800 square feet. Looking at the house, it's super dated. You said it needs a roof. If I was you, I'd be offering her like 90 grand. And I would not be betting the farm that you're going to find a buyer for it either. Just being completely honest with you. It's in markets like this, it's not it's nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible to get deals sold because there's just no buyer activity.
Makes sense. All right. Ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
This one's from Victoria, 8209 Wooden Windmill Court.
8279
09 Wooden Windmill Court, Las Vegas. Yep. I don't know if you're still here, Jason, but Hugo in the chat says reach out to investors in El Paso, see if they want it.
Okay, so this one's been active on the market since January of 2023, active at 640, built in 2002, 3885 square foot, 4-bed, 2-bath. Batch's value estimate on it is 710. They barely owe anything on it. They looks like they owe like 170 grand. So possible owner finance opportunity there for you. Maybe they own it free and clear by now. Who knows? Looking at not a ton on Batch for this, so we'll head over to Zillow and see what we got.
Can you guys hear my typing when I'm typing? Jamil, can you hear it?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
4-bed, 3-bath, 3885. Built in 02. Again, all that. Just looking at the pictures here. It's dated, big time. Needs a cosmetic remodel, I would call this, not a full gut. 640 active, and they price dropped at 15,000 January 30th. Let's look at this. They listed at, oh my gosh, they listed in September at 740. They're down 100 grand since September, down to 640. So there's pain here. I mean, these guys are motivated. They're ready to sell. I feel like. So let's see where that number needs to be. Ooh. Model match. This is from 2021. It sold at 590. Here's a slight remodel, but from the height of the market that sold for 780. That's where I think these guys kind of got their idea of like where pricing should be, because they got this sale over here. And look at this, is something I want to point out. On the other side of Durango here, you've got some really high prices, right? And on this side of Durango, it's not so much, right? A lot of houses breaking 700 on this side of Durango, and on this other side of Durango, we're not really seeing that. So just as something to keep in mind, something to think about, that the neighborhood could really shift here once you cross Durango Street. But I feel like we're gonna have to cross Durango in order to get a comp that is of similar size.
What size are we looking for here?
3885.
Close.
Yep. Or close to.
What's the window? 250 that you want to look within?
Plus or minus 250 square feet.
Gotcha.
When you're in this sort of price, when you're in this size point, it's plus or minus 300. I would even be a little bit more liberal. But we're definitely over 700 in ARV. But again, we're going to have to make adjustments down just for market conditions. So hold on to your socks before we come up with an ARV here. Guys, this is why it's so important to show up to things like this and learn. Also, we do this in astro flipping for hours and hours and hours. I was on a 5.5-hour support call last night. If any of you guys want to even learn more about what astro is about, Tyler is in the chat. Happy to chat and give you guys some details. So we're above, and this is from 21. So I feel like, prices have come down to where 21 values are right now. So that's good. This is from April of 22. We're 1,000 square feet larger. So, where, Bobby, I think this lands at about 750. That's where I'm going to, after making the adjustments, I'm going to hold it at 750. Okay. 750 is the ARV.
That's for Victoria.
Where would we want to be buying this thing at? I'd say about 65% of that. So if I'm you, I'd want to be offering around 490. Where are they listed at? Let's see. Let's go back and see where they're listed at. Holy crap. Look at that. See? Out of their mind. Out of their mind. But that's not to say maybe you don't offer them 490. Maybe you go to like 500. Offer 500, see what happens. These guys have motivation, and they're totally out to lunch on their price. Completely out to lunch.
All right, that's a wrap for Wooden Windmill. Next up, we got Elise Dean, and her house is 3020 Myrtle Avenue, Myrtle.
Sorry, hold on.
You're good.
3020 Myrtle. Can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Latavian, I'm going in order of people submitting them in the chat and writing them down and going through them.
Myrtle Ave and where?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay. All right, 3020 Myrtle Ave, Kansas City, Missouri, 3-bed, 1-bath, 960 square footer, listed at 74,000. Been on the market 9 days, so fresh, kind of new. Looked at 1,400 times, only saved 81. That tells us high likelihood that this is overpriced, even for a 74,000 square foot house, and it's grandma special for sure. Look at that! Look at that carpet. She never changed it. Every pet they own, every pet they ever had in that house has peed in this carpet. Just giving you a visual. You can see the walking path. Look, you can see the decades of where people walked in this house. Look at that, crazy, right? All the foot traffic there. Dang. Super original. 31960 square footer. I'm guessing it's built in like the 70s just based off the colors, but let's see. '56. Whew. Okay. Oh, Kansas City, Missouri is non-disclosure. We got to go to Batch Leads. That's where you will find comps for non-disclosure markets. Bobby, have you watched the Harry Potter movies?
Yeah.
Every time I see the name Myrtle, I think of, is it Moaning Myrtle? Is that her name?
Yeah. Who's Myrtle from Harry Potter? Moaning Myrtle.
So, I mean, look at where houses like this are selling right now. Like houses like this right now are, here's a 2,000 square footer built in the 50s that's selling for 25K. Okay. 23K. And this should tell you where investors are buying at. Right. So they're listed as substantially higher than where investors are buying at. So this is actually really good because it's showing us, where things are moving in terms of price points. And so houses double the size are selling for about 50 to 60. If I'm you, I'd be offering 20 grand on this house. 25 at the most. We got 390 of you guys here, man. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate you guys, all the love. Let's keep comping some more houses.
All right, this one's from IGWT. I don't know. Yeah, it's just their YouTube name, but
Okay.
48 Buckeye Circle Northeast, Winter Haven. I don't know what state.
Florida, I believe. Yep. 48 Buckeye Circle, Northeast Winter Haven, Florida. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1883 square footer, listed on the market at 245K, built in 1925. What else can we see in here? It's super original. Not a lot of pictures. Let's look at the pricing history. Been on the market 55 days. They listed it, guys. Check it out. They listed this thing in November at 430,000, and they had to drop it to 245. These guys are motivated. Super motivated. Let's see where the craziness came from. What made them think that house was worth that much money at that time? It's got a big lot. That's probably why. Oh, they got a lot of new construction nearby. That's what's happening here. So typically what'll end up, what this means, this is like land value. Got a 243 sale here from, doesn't say when. This is going to be too new. Also is going to be much newer, but yeah, built in 19. So you're surrounded by new construction. The new construction is selling in the low 200s, okay, or mid 200s. Like, check this out, right? Like, how in the hell are you going to sell a house built in 1925 at $245,000 when you're on? This is complete land value, total land value.
What does that mean? They would demolish the house. And
This is not this. You demolish this house, and then what a builder would do is they would build new homes here. So let's read this. It says, back on market. Check this out. 6 60-foot lots. Got it. The lots need to be 75 feet in order for the city of Winter Haven to allow development. So you have to do a lot combination, which is, see how this agent is just, so you don't have 6 lots here, okay? You've got
6 times 60, 360 divided by 75.
Yeah, what is that? 4?
Yeah.
You got 4 lots. And you're gonna have to do a full, you're gonna have to combine the lots and then do a new split, new entitlement. So that's gonna cost you a significant amount of money. Honestly, I think that the land value here is probably in the 2, at most you're selling this for 200. If I was you locking this up, I'd be locking it up at like 180, trying to sell it at 200. That's what's up. That's what's up.
All right. So based on honor system, Peter Ogini, he says he was the first one to upload an address, but it seems to have disappeared. So we're going to jump to Peter's address. Okay. But just so you guys know, we still got Sean, Kathy, Kenneth, Ice, Casey Crane, Facebook user, Kenneth, Anya, Cryptic Soul, and we're going to do Peter right now. Peter's 816 YOLO Street, which is fitting, YOLO. I think it's Street West and then Sacramento, California. 816 Yellow Street West, Sacramento, California.
Cool street name. All right, 4-bed, 3-bath, 1680 square footer on YOLO Street in Sacramento, Sacktown. This is a walk-up 2-story. Weird. The stairs are on the outside.
That's interesting.
Really weird, right? Needs a tremendous amount of work.
What makes you say that?
The photos. The potos. How long has it been available? It's been on the market for 19 days. It is pending, and was listed at $399.9, and went pending right away. Well, it went pending, what, 18 days later with no price drop. So I wonder what price whoever has this thing locked up at has it locked up at. You know, I would have waited. I would have let this thing sit on the market for some time before I went and locked this thing up just to make sure I was getting at a good price. But hey, sometimes if you see something, maybe you know something that others don't. But let's keep looking. Definitely not seeing any value near $3.99 here for this. Here we got a sale from October of 2022. That's a walk up. 533, 1319 square footer. Okay. So that is promising. But still but the highest that we got. So 1319 square foot. So that's significantly smaller than our subject, but we can't use dollar per square. That's what I think you probably did. You probably said, okay, you got 1300. This is 1680. You'd use dollar per square foot. I think a house that's smaller will always have a higher dollar per square foot than a bigger house. So you're over 250 square feet difference here, I believe, right? What is that? This is 1680 and the other one was
13 something.
I think it's 1319. It's about 360 square feet. So you can't use the dollar per square foot method here. But what I would say is you'd probably get an additional 10 to 15 grand on top of that. Let's see when this sold it. It was in October, November, December. It's a little bit older than I like, but the market had started to turn. I think with the market condition, things kind of trending downwards, I would say you'd be safe calling your ARV 540. Now, if you have a 540 ARV in Sacramento, I think you need to lock this thing up at like 350. And you have it at, well, it's listed at 399. So I'm hoping you locked it up at 350. If you did, you probably got a sellable deal. Yo.
Man, this is tough to go through all these addresses.
Lost ad. See, this is why, guys, you know, being a part of the Astro fam is dope because you get an opportunity to come in and do this with me for hours if you want. I can only, you know, have so much time here aside from the responsibilities I got in my life, but I donate it. So does Bobby. We're trying.
Dahlia.
We're also not trying to skip anybody. So
Yeah.
don't get in your feelings thinking we're getting skipped. He's just going straight through the order here.
Dahlia, would you mind putting the address in the chat again if you're still here? All right, let's move on. We got Sean's 321 South Main Street, Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Okay, Dahlia just answered. Let's do that one first.
Okay, what's her address?
2407 North Avenue in Richmond, Virginia.
Also, if you guys got deals for sale, connect with Astro Flipping community members and sell your deals, man. These guys are doing. We had, you know, Bobby, we did $7 million in assignments between June and December, just Astro Flipping students alone.
Crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
That's nuts.
This is built in 1915, 2,000 square foot, 4-bed, 1-bath, sitting on a 17,000 square foot lot. Canceled at 390. So we know that's where they, that means that she sat on the market forever at 390. This didn't sell. So you got a seller who got an unrealistic expectation, maybe from an agent, on what their house would sell for. Here we got a comp from October of 2022 that sold at 420, slightly smaller, but usable. So we're a little over 420. Okay, let's see what else we can find that's over 420. Let's see this 460. Here's a 2-story, 1915 built, from June though. So it's 460. So, you need to take 10% off of that. So that still gets you at about a 420, 430 range. Let's see what we got over here. July, a little bit larger, 475. I think you're in the 450 range, between 440 to 450, given the market conditions right now. ARV. So she's listed at 390. So unless her house is fully remodeled, somebody needs to remodel her expectations. So 460 is the ARV. Out there, you want to be picking stuff up at about 65%. So the real number on here, somebody needs to contract this at 300 max buy price. Maximus Cashimus. Any other questions in here that we can answer?
Yeah, Vanessa asked, what's your buy box in California?
Vanessa, you need to be a little bit more specific, because California has Southern California, there is Central California, there is Northern California, there is the Inland Empire, and all of those markets have different percentages of ARV that you would needing to be buy from. So if you've got a little bit of a context, or if you can be more specific, I can be more specific for you as well.
Barb asks, are you all wholesaling homes in the 500K range?
I wholesale homes in all price ranges. There's a lot of activity right now in the 500 and below price point, though, that there's a greater amount of activity in lower price points or starter home price points than there are in the higher price points. So, I think it's a good idea to be focused in the lower price points. But I mean, if you're in LA or you're in a higher price market like San Francisco or something, it's still, there's still lots of deals going on.
If you're comping a property to make an offer and you're too far apart from what they're asking, how can you determine if it is overpriced?
Well, Al, I mean, if you are your offer should be based in some form of framework. Like, what's your plan, right? Is the reason your offer low because the house that you're looking at needs a tremendous amount of work? If it needs a lot of work to get to a value, then of course it's overpriced. So it's about, really, if your offer is far apart from what their expectation is, their expectations are proving that they're overpriced. So you can you can determine that they're overpriced easily. Just because you determine something's overpriced doesn't make a seller reasonable, or it doesn't mean the seller is ready to take your offer at this specific time, right? So what you would do is you would follow back up and you would continue checking in with the agent. Don't be combative. Don't fight with realtors and say you're screwed up, or you are overpriced, or you don't know what you're doing. Agents don't want to work with people like that. They want you will always win way more being nice and just being honest, right? And sharing with people, hey, look, I'm looking at your house right now. You've got this thing priced as though it's been fully remodeled. And I looked at the comps around the neighborhood, and you know, yeah, the number you're asking for makes sense, but you would need $100,000 to get it there. And so I just want to know, first, is the seller driving price here? Is this the reason why you're listed so high? Is it they're not motivated? And then let them talk. Let them explain to you why they're priced where they are. Typically, they're going to just tell you, "Yeah, my seller is out to lunch right now. They think that they can get what they could have got in March of 22, or maybe they'll get combative with you and say, "Oh no, you're wrong." But I'll tell you what, brother, I am getting a lot of people coming back around in my follow-up sequences and in our funnels where we give them an offer $150,000 under list price, and 3 weeks later they're taking it. So this is a game of follow-up.
How long do we do this show?
We go an hour, so let's try to comp a couple more.
Okay, we're not gonna be able to do all the addresses. This is cluster, and I'm sorry.
It's a lot.
I'm sorry, guys. I see some of you say that I skipped you. I didn't mean to. I'm trying to go through this in order. This one's from Sean.
Hey, Sean.
321 South Main Street in Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Harrod. If that place exists.
Spell it all.
That's what I wrote down. Harrodsburg, Kentucky. That's a place. Yeah. Harrodsburg, Kentucky. I'm gonna put it in the chat. You got it.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like that Batch or Zillow like the address. I'm going to check Batch for it. This could be commercial because it's Main Street. So if it's commercial, it's not going to pull here. Just saying. We only do residential on this show, guys. So. Well, Batch had it. Batch saved a day. 1890 build, 4238 square footer. 8,100 square foot lot. Looks like they bought it in 2021 for $34,000.
It's so crazy to see grass everywhere. I'm too used to Phoenix.
All the rock. It's like no comps. There's like Batch has no comp, no sales in Harrodsburg in the last year. You go back 2 years, there's one sale. What's the population of Harrodsburg?
$9,000.
Yeah. Personally, I'd stay away from a market like this. But this is an interesting little sale that we got. See, we have here 3,500 square footer. Don't know what year it was built, so it's hard to say. Let's look at it. This also doesn't make any sense here, so that I don't trust any of that information. And Zillow didn't give us anything, right? 321 South Main Street. I'm just going to go back and see again. That's why it's always a good idea to have multiple platforms that you're checking stuff on. Nope, doesn't. Zillow doesn't even like the address, but I'm pretty sure that's the property. So let's just see what's kind of sold around it. Trying to see when this one was built, but it's not showing me. Tough, these little smaller parts of the country. Really hard to wrap your head around sometimes what the values are. Just it's really just a product of volume. There's not a lot of volume of activity out there,
Yeah.
When was this built? Oh no. Not saying. So it looks newer though. It does look way newer than our historic home. So I don't know if that's like you need a full remodel. I think what we can say is they paid 34 for it. You're seeing sales here in the mid twos. Here's an older one. And I mean I've got to go really back in time here with some of these just because of 1900. Great. Okay, so 2-story historic house. This would be called a colonial. 300. So I mean, maybe you could because it's a full gut. You at most I'd be giving them like 65, 70,000 for it. Yeah. That was fun.
That was fun, man. First time trying to conduct.
Guys, everybody give Bobby some love. Bobby, we love you. Thank you for coming on and being a part of Straight Outta Compin. We won't be doing Straight Outta Compin at this time. We're going to do our best to have Sundays be our day, but I traveled last week, so we didn't want to not have Straight Outta Compin, so we put it in the middle of the week. This Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday, so don't want to be competing with the NFL because that's not fun. And you should also just be watching the game. So we'll likely do Straight Outta Compin next week at sometime during the week as well. So just pay attention to my social media channels. If you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and do that. But if you are gaining any insights, if I have taught you something, if you are a wholesaler full-time, and I mean it, be a part of the most active community of wholesalers on the planet, the most successful community of wholesalers on the planet. Astro flipping is where it's at. If you are in the astro flipping community, tell folks in the chat how you feel about it. There's a link in the chat. You can talk to somebody and get some more details. Outside of that, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being a part of this wonderful, full-bodied community. I love you guys. You're just amazing, amazing people. And Bobby, you're handsome. Thanks for being. Pardon me.
Before you go, like the video before you leave.
Yeah, guys, likey.
Thumbs ups.
Thumbs ups. Later.
Later, guys.